The other day, this guy commented on one of my TikToks and he said, I've been seeing so many single moms with these babies on their hips. Like, why are there so many single moms with infants or babies or mothers who are single and pregnant? Like, I keep seeing it pop up more and more. Like, why is this being normalized? Like, what's this new trend? Do you want to know what's happening, sir? Men, that's what's happening. Do you really honestly think that it is convenient for women to be single and pregnant, single with a newborn, single with an infant? Because let me tell you, it's not. It's not our first choice, okay? It's not a fun little thing we do. Pregnancy, postpartum, and having an infant is one of the most vulnerable times in a woman's life. Do you really think that we want to spend that alone? Do you think we really want to raise babies alone? We don't, okay? Up to me, I would have had a supportive, kind, good partner to help me through my pregnancy, to help me through postpartum, to help me raise my baby. Like, do you think I want to be a single mother with an infant on my hip? Because let me tell you, it wasn't my first choice. Maybe you should look at the men who are cheating on their wives while they're pregnant, cheating on their wives while they're postpartum, abandoning their children, abandoning their families, divorcing their wives, getting women pregnant and having zero responsibility and doing zero to help or be involved in their family's life. Because they are the reason why it is so prevalent. I'm gonna tell you that right now. These women aren't just waking up 6 months pregnant and being like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna leave my husband. I think I'm just gonna divorce him. Or with an infant on their hip, just like, you know what, I'm gonna get back out in the dating world. Like, no, this isn't our first choice, let me tell you.
Women have one job, and that job is to pick who they're going to be with. And they don't even do that job right. So they complain about, he wasn't masculine, he wasn't an alpha, he wasn't a high earner. You picked him. You have one job as a woman, and it's to pick the man you want to be with, and you can't even do that. You get pregnant by the type of men you chose, and you end up single. Then you go to the internet and complain that men are trash. On top of that, you begin to build walls and have high standards for the next men, expecting him to reach your expectations. Women make it easy for the wrong men and make it difficult for the right men, but they can't seem to understand what the right men behaves like. You keep picking bad. Ladies, I want you to make a list of the man you want. Write it down like you're going. Grocery shopping. If you want him 6 feet tall, I want him to make $3 million a year. I want him to drive this whatever you want. I want him handsome. I want him with dimples. I want him strong. And when you get to the end of that list, ask yourself, does the type of man that you just named want you? Because if you don't, you can wish all you want. A lot of women out there talking about, well, I'll be feminine for the right man. Imagine a man said, I'll be masculine for the right woman.
Women love abusive men. I've deeped it. I know that sounds insane and that sounds outrageous, but I'm gonna get into it. Lock in with me for a second. Let me explain. Let me respond to this. Women do not like the fake nice guy. Agreed. But they also don't like the real nice guy. And they do not like abusive men. Respectfully, I disagree. See, if women didn't like abusive men, again, lock in with me for a second, they would not be loving the drug dealers, the gangbangers, or people that are toxic, scammers, and all of these lot. The rappers that rap about women being objects of sex and nothing else more. Why do they love these men? Why do they still respond to these men? Why do they go after and chase these men who are emotionally unavailable if they didn't like abusive men? Please explain this to me. I'll wait. They want a guy that is himself. I agree. They want a guy that is himself. They want a man that they are attracted to. I also agree. Guess what they're attracted to a lot of the time? Toxicity, inconsistency, emotional unavailability. Because when they do get all those things, they get a guy who's consistent, they get a guy who 6 months days, they get a guy who gives them flowers, they get a guy who treats them right, they don't respond well. Guess what they do? He's too boring, he's too boring, he's too boring. They want a guy that has a personality. Look, I feel like you read this on the internet. This is what women say they want. This is what women say they want. A lot of the times, what women say they want and what they actually want are two sides of a coin, bro. It's two completely different things, right? I've never once in my life heard a woman complain about a nice guy being nice. Never once. Guess what they're always complaining about? A guy who takes too long to respond. A guy who's not giving them that much attention. A guy who's quote unquote abusive. That's what they're complaining about. But guess who they always also end up being obsessed with? That same guy, right? Again, not in all cases. There are a lot of exceptions, and some women which have sense do like the good man, do like the nice man. But a lot of them are attracted to toxic traits. If I'm lying, let me know in the comments.
You know what I love about today's single moms? Today's single moms know that they're still the damn prize. These are my standards. These are the requirements that comes with approaching a like me. You feel me? And I just love that for us.
Single moms are desirable by provider men. And I should add upcycled husbands. You are a single mother, you have little ones to protect. So you should be having high standards and you should be picky. And instead of looking for boyfriend traits, you need to start looking for fatherly traits.
I'm a divorced single mom. Of course my standards are too high for you and me.
So if you're a single mom, don't let anybody make you feel bad about the standards that you set or the decisions that you make regarding the company that you keep. Whether you're a single mom who's never been married or you're a single mom as a product of a divorce, you have the right to ask for what you feel that you deserve, and don't compromise on that.
Where were all these high standards for the man that you had a child with? Which one of you guys are going to simp out and teach little Jimmy how to throw a football? Because it damn sure won't be me.
Having a child by the wrong person is an irreversible mistake that we do not talk about enough. Motherhood is not a joke. Ask anybody who's raising a child. So to make a critical error like choosing a man that is not sane to be your partner in raising that child is just too much of a risk. And I think we as mothers, or the older generation in my case, need to be very vocal about warning women about this. Because there's this narrative in society, and you see it a lot on social media, that you should have known better because you saw other people go through it. And while that's true, I don't think we speak enough about what the mistakes are. So a lot of times women make a mistake and they don't understand what that mistake is going to lead to. So they might let one thing slide in a relationship, not knowing that, in the next 6 months, they're going to end up pregnant with this man's baby and not know what to do. And the thing is, once you're already pregnant, you are making a very time-sensitive decision under pressure. And we do not give enough weight about how easy it is to make the wrong choice in that type of scenario. So ladies, please, if you are sexually active, always have on the forefront of your mind that that can lead to you becoming pregnant. So you have to consider, A, if I get pregnant and this guy stays exactly how he is right now, because we're not doing anything based on potential, am I okay with that? And a lot of women will even tell you that there are men that they were dating whose behavior got significantly worse after they got pregnant with that man's child. So even if you're with a guy and everything seems to be going well, consider the risks of his change of mind, of his change of behavior. Men as a whole do not like responsibility. They do not like being held accountable. Fatherhood comes with a lot of responsibility and accountability. A lot of men get women pregnant and then get angry at the expectation of these women for them to be fathers. Understand, a lot of men want a child. They do not want to be a father. So please, I'm begging you, think about these things. Once you have a child, there is no going back. And I know a lot of mothers don't want to say it, but they regret having their child. There's nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, those kind of decisions are decisions you can never come back from. So I'm not going to judge someone because they went into something and realized, oh, this is not necessarily my strong point, or this is not necessarily what I want to be doing with my life. Sis, I see you and you've got this. So please, ladies, especially young ladies, understand that all of our actions with men have consequences, and some of the consequences are very permanent and very traumatic. So please take your time before you get put in a position where you have no time. Okay? Now, like I always say, there's always an exception to the rule for best results. Assume it's not you. Mwah.